Hi, I'm Detective Unknown.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Backflip.
And I'm Inspector Home Run.
And we're the Teenage Super Sleuths, myth-busting some of today's greatest scientific hoaxes.
This is Johnny on the Spot, science reporter for the Real News Network. You won't find any fake news here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. All characters and events in this show, even though based on real people, are entirely fictional. All celebrity voices are impersonated poorly. We're coming to you today from the Batcave. The Teenage Super Sleuths have had to go into hiding because of the scientific discoveries that they have been making are a threat to the status quo. All right, this is Johnny on the Spot, science reporter for the Real News Network, and I have been sent a cryptic message from the Science Super Sleuths. And I have Inspector Unknown here, and he sent me this chart, and he says he's got some information that nobody else knows. What I'm looking at here is, it looks to me like it's Al Gore's Vostok Ice Core data that everybody's seen, and he seems to think he knows things that other people don't. Help me understand this, Inspector Unknown. What's going on here?
Yeah, so this is Al Gore's famous Ice Core chart.
Okay, so it looks to me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't have the PhD that you do, but it looks to me like this is 650,000 years of data, of ice core data.
Yes.
And it looks to me like you have temperature down here at the bottom, and then it looks to me like you have CO2 up here, and Al Gore is over here showing that CO2 is the highest level it's been for the last 650,000 years.
Yes, that is what this chart is showing.
Okay,
but
well, tell me something I don't know. Everybody in science class gets this.
So let's go take a closer look at this slideshow.
Okay,
let's take some observations.
So this is what you're telling me. You're telling me that these are your observations that nobody else has discovered in Al Gore's chart. You're telling me that climate change is the norm, and that we shouldn't fear climate change, that's just the way it is?
Yes.
And you're telling me that all previous temperature peaks were higher than they are today?
Yes.
And you're telling me that previous record high level of CO2 did not cause a record high temperature, like we're being told today?
Right on the spot.
I don't believe it. I just simply
Let's
don't
just
believe
take a closer look.
Okay. So this is basically what you're telling me is the Vostok Ice Core. Now this one only goes back 400,000 years, but it makes the same point. And so you've got temperature up here, and then you've got CO2 down here, right? And sure enough, CO2 is over here, and it's definitely at a record high of around 400 parts per million. Now now I think everybody's seen this chart. Yep. This is nothing new. You're not telling me anything I don't know.
Well, from the naked eye, if you look at the chart, it seems like
I see
everything you see.
I see. So this is what you mean by record high, climate change is the norm. Matter of fact, if you look back 400,000 years, there's never been a time when climate wasn't changing. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, there's never been a time where the climate wasn't changing.
Al Gore's telling me that climate change is abnormal. I'm seeing 400,000 years of pretty much that's all it ever does. Matter of fact, I'll give you $100 if you can tell me a time when climate wasn't changing. Jeez. I mean, so clearly climate change is normal. Now, the other thing that you said was really important, which I found pretty fascinating. I don't really believe it yet. But you told me that every single temperature peak in the ice core is higher than it is today, but CO2 is at a lower level?
Yes.
Is that true?
That is correct.
So let me see here. So what you've done is you've drawn a line here for current temperatures. That's essentially the current temperature right here. But I look back and you're right. Previous temperature peaks were much higher than they are today, and yet CO2 was at a much lower level. So clearly CO2 wasn't causing record high back then. Why would it be causing it today? I think you might be onto something here.
If you look at the chart, it could even drive the opposite.
Whoa. Well, I think we're going to have to save that one for another video, but that's pretty doggone fascinating stuff. All right, so that's interesting. So the take-home message is that A, climate change is the norm. It's always changing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All previous temperature peaks are higher than they are today, yet CO2 is lower.
Yes.
And that record high CO2 today did not drive temperatures to a record high.
Yes, we're not going through global warming.
Wow. That's pretty. Now, so what you're telling me is you want people to share these videos and to join your secret science society, but not to let your teachers know about these videos?
Yes, if you let your teachers know, they will corrupt your mind before you can get a chance.
That's right. So this is secret knowledge that nobody else. Backflip, is that true?
Yes.
We got to make sure that people watch this as part of the secret society, but they can't let other people outside the secret society know. Right?
Yes.
And do not let your teacher. However, if the teacher's going to cover global warming in your class, make sure everybody in the classroom watches these videos, so the teacher won't know everybody in the class will know that they're not being told the truth.
And ask your teacher as many questions as you can.
That's right. And then start asking them questions that we covered today. All right. Well, why don't we sign off? Tell people to come back later, because we're going to have more videos, right?
Yes. Comment.
Like, share, subscribe, comment, and bye, peeps.
All right.
Don't say bye, peeps.